on that map has been looking underwhelming.
As we jump into game number 2 over here, we'll welcome B on the right side playing as the French in blue, and on the left side, I presume, we're going to have MarineLorD picking the color red for the Holy Roman Empire. Rather, just, you know, being given the color red, because it's not like you can pick colors right now in a game in 2022.
Hey man, like I don't understand what your problem is. You can't take blue if French are in the game. You know the rules, Lidakor, all right? You do this, chatter up in arms. They're gonna have your head. You want your head gone?
No, I don't want my head gone.
You sure? Because the amount of time you had to think about that, it's
I'm
almost like
fairly
your head
sure.
was already gone.
I mean,
Okay.
this is not a difficult decision to make, I must say.
Well, it might be a difficult decision if this game goes long enough for B, because MarineLorD, that's going to be his goal here. Probably reaching up in the castle, looking at Langsneck, man-at-arms. We've seen Spears, actually, Langsneck alone can counter out what the French does as the game goes on. But I'm not going to look that deep. I'm going to look deep into this pond and deep into B's eyes and say, thank you for using this map the way it's intended. You're up against a greedy, booming Civ. Yes, you can go pocket eco straight away, folks. And B is going to reap big rewards because of it.
And this is where the French really come in clutch. If you think about that, you're going to have those mills come at the discount. So you're going to capitalize on the shorefish. And as you said, you're against a greedy, boom-focused civilization. You know that MarineLorD isn't going to be doing that much pressure towards your base or towards your pocket ecos. So you can get away with these very easily.
MarineLorD, you better have a lot of sheep coming back, since you missed a few right next to your base, sir. B had the right idea. He could afford to risk this because the reality is he doesn't need the sheep because he's already playing on the fish. And I don't know. MarineLorD, we've seen him go for some feudal aggression. Or not feudal aggression, but feudal military. But that was off the back of being aggressed by a Mongol player. And I don't see you getting aggressed at a point where feudal makes sense in terms of archers and rams and whatnot. So I just don't really see a way in which MarineLorD is going to harass what B is doing. Just love that he's doing this.
Yeah, and the thing is that he also managed to get a lot of sheep for himself. So not only is he going to have a great food eco at the beginning, right now in Dark Age he's not exposed. So even if there is any kind of aggression in the foreseeable future by MarineLorD, which as you said is somewhat unlikely, but even if there is any aggression, he's gonna have a ton of sheep under his town center as a backup source because he's not really depleting them. Most of his food eco is going to be focused on the shorefish, so those sheep will last for a very long time.
I think if I recall correctly, judging by that select, he got maybe not the lion's share, but he at least got 50% of them. So this is going to hurt MarineLorD a little bit. We have to start thinking about like builds that are going to come out, because while B could go aggressive, it's going to be limited aggression. Maybe a few knights diving in. He can just focus on booming his eco quite efficiently because he's playing fish already. MarineLorD, on the other hand, is going to be notably slower. Yes, you have the Holy Inspiration, but you're gathering on these sheep at a rate that even with Holy Inspiration is going to be underwhelming in comparison to the shoreline fish. Like, this is 1 food a second. The sheep are 0.75. So while you are a little bit better, for HRE standards, being 0.05 0.05 food ahead of your opponent isn't good.
And keep in mind that you're depleting, because of that holy inspiration of the prelate, you're depleting your stockpiles of sheep quite rapidly. And if the French player establishes map control, which is usually what we see from the French players with the knights, then you might be struggling for food in the next coming minutes because you'll be running out of sheep under your town center quite swiftly.
Now, I think a cool play for B here could be to go for 1 or 2 knights to force an investment in racks and spears from MarineLorD, and then maybe even think about a second TC. It sounds really greedy against the HRE, but that's the power of the ponds. They really are that good that they can somewhat allow you to get away with that, even against a civ like the HRE.
I genuinely believe, like, I think this map was part of Aussie Jungo's map making contest as well, and when I was looking at this map, my biggest fear was that we're going to see every single game being French because of how good this fishing could be for French. I'm delighted to see that we have a variety of strats being brought in here by the pro players, but I still think that this might be the most oppressive and most powerful strategy that you can possibly get on this map.
Well, the key issue is, like, you doing it for free. Like, the French are meant to dictate pace, but we know there are civs that can match or exceed that. You know, we've seen English with the early aggression keeping you boxed in. I actually think Delhi can, in some situations, be quite handy here. Even when you think about the Rus, another example of a civ that will extract value if you go into these fish. Like, The reason he's doing it in this game is simply because it's HRE. Any Civ that has an ability to feign aggression, you wouldn't instantly be doing this.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a high-risk, high-reward thing to move out for fish generally, but against the civilization that likes to play very compact and just doesn't want to put up that much aggression, like the HRE, for example, it's actually low-risk, high-reward, so there is no reason for B not to move out to the shorefish.
And there's the racks, and I love this out of MarineLorD into the stables as well. He's scouted out what's happening here. So what he realizes is now, usually the HRE get to say, you come to me, you fight me. But when you see shoreline fishing going on that, it's not only going to even the distance between both of you, it's also an issue now that you've got an opportunity to take a lead by doing economical damage. It would be negligible to your ability to win the game if you didn't take that opportunity.
And I like this build from MarineLorD. It feels a little bit like a budget deli, yes? He actually stuns the cavalry out there, getting some beautiful hits on those knights. He might actually get the other one. Oh, nice.
Nah, he's going to pinch him, and a lot of damage being done. B hasn't peeled back yet. He hasn't even finished one spearman. That's a bad trade. Final stab. Can't be there.
Both knights survive.
Look at them.
But you have a horseman.
Barely.
If the horseman gets in here in time, you could easily finish off both of those.
Oh, the auto attack.
MarineLorD is playing
so much credit there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, MarineLorD is playing budget deli. That's what I was about to say here. Very similar approach. You have a ton of resources coming in. Not because of the berries like the deli, it's because of the Holy Inspiration. And you turn that into a Horseman-Spearman combo to deal with the Knight-Archer play of the French.
Yeah, I agree. Like the other thing I was going to add on top of that is look at the way he's utilizing the Stealth Forest. Like this is so underrated. I've only seen a few players fully exploit it. This is the game to do it. Look at that Stealth Forest. That might be the biggest one I've seen in Frizzy in a long time. It is thick, it is lush, and it is not easy to see through.
Indeed. Looks like there is not even a single response coming out from B just yet to the Spearman. He's only going full Knights. He's trying to work his way towards the second TC. I wonder if that second TC is gonna be close to that hunt on the front, because that'll be a very nice staging point to try and defend this gold mine with. But B could be facing a different problem soon, because not only is MarineLorD putting up a lot of pressure on his base, he's still getting close to Castle himself.
How the HRE, I've been tooting it and speaking about it for a long time. Like, you don't need to just be fully greedy. You can field an army and tech up still ahead of people, because let's think about this realistically. If both sides are investing in an army, you've still got a 40% gather rate buff at a very early point in the game, where no other Civ compares. Like, name me a Civ that has a comparative timing with the economy. Like, another HRE player? Sure. But French? No, they slowly escalate. Chinese? Well, they get 20%, they have to build the Imperial officials. Like,
borderline.
There's no one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ooh, two Knights heavily damaged here, though. Horsemen are faster than Knights. This could be a great pickup by MarineLorD. Yeah, he sees
one horseman. He sends one horseman over after both of them. Says, bring me their heads. Wrap around.
Oh, the other one gets away.
He's going to be blocked. But keep in mind, MarineLorD now knows about the secondary TC. Could become a prime target. But first of all, his main target is going to be the tech up. Regnit's underway. And it looks like B did do that build we were talking about at the end. Second TC in the pond area means that he's going to be able to push a lot of troops here in Feudal. Don't write him out just because the HRE got their castle age time.
Exactly. Like, French is the single best civilization to have prolonged feudal ages with. Their royal knights are much better than, you know, standard, like, feudal age knights from the Rus, per se. And they are able to get a decent matchup against castle age knights even. The concern for B is that he needs to find a response to the spearman as well. He's slowly adding archers, but he needs to be careful. He can't afford to lose those precious knights, because it could easily snowball out of control should he lose his knight mass here.
That's the awkward thing about the
ambush.
CC, the timing as well. Yeah, scout. Good move there, B. Remember, folks, use your scouts in these stealth forests. Otherwise, you're going to meet the end of a spear, which is what happened last time for B.
Ooh,
Prelate.
Could be a snipe on the Prelate, though.
It's the spears, though. Like, look at that. Nice tank with the front line. The scouts and the horsemen.
Charges come off.
Prelate. Spearman coming through. Trying to snipe him down.
Micro.
Prelate is going to die.
Beautiful micro out there. He even kills a horseman, so the end result is some damage done to the knights, but he trades off that damage to a prelate and a horseman even. Great fight over there for B.
B ramping up still, looking to dive towards the base because he knows that safe relic has to be being gathered. An interception. Sir? No, you can go home to your family after you bank the relic. Don't come to the house now. Wait, did he glimpsed it?
He was in home office. This is how it feels like when you just bring home the work.
It's like, yeah, guys, I can work from home. No, that doesn't get created until like 2021. Sorry, buddy. You're going to have to come into the office today. Spearman getting cleaned up, though. And MarineLorD may have been a little bit greedy in his count here because the Knights are still able to overwhelm. They are going to box you in. You did at least get one relic, though, so not the end of the world from MarineLorD, but still frustrating that he can't easily move out for the next one.
And he's barely able to find any kills on those Knights. His Spearmen have been picked apart in small groups. He lost like 6-7 Spearmen in those small groups. And I think he only traded off to like one Knight or so. Beautiful micro to peel away for B here. And right now MarineLorD is struggling when it comes to military numbers. If you look at his army, that is not something I would call spectacular. And keep in mind that sure thing has got the relic. B has an eco lead and B still has shore fishing. So the eco here for B is much, much better. And I can see B going full feudal here because now we're seeing 2 more stables being added.
And he has to balance this right. I love that he goes into the stables. The archers look nice, but the reality is your opponent just got his knights out. If you push archers, it's worthless. You need a lot more knights. And the cool thing about the French knights is if you get your charge out, you can compete with Castle Age knights because your bonus damage. Speaking of some damage, coming into the wood line, B sidestepping, looking to back away. Now remember, he does have a big eco lead already, and these horsemen don't kill fast. Instead, they die fast. Shivs out from the lads on the wood line. Nice little play there.
Yeah, MarineLorD lost his only remaining scout, and that's scary. Those villagers got this around, and you might be, thinking, okay, just one scout, what does it matter? Well, look at that stealth forest in the middle. A stealth forest that MarineLorD is going to struggle to have an insight into against an increasing amount of knights. This is scary for MarineLorD because he's going to be kept in the dark for the time being.
Especially if B plays this right. If he doesn't rush in too soon, he won't reveal whether he's going castle or reinvesting army. That's a really important detail because it's uncomfortable for MarineLorD to not know this because he needs to calibrate appropriately. Do I need to spam more troops or can I maybe think about Imperial? Because we know what HRE players love doing at this stage. Once they bank that second relic, their dream comes true. Pass the Swabi seems very feasible within the next 2 to 3 minutes.
But that's something that could open up a timing push here for B, and as weird as it sounds like,
nice.
Oh, nice one.
Strike in. Ooh, it's going to spread out. The archers join in as well. And MarineLorD's getting baited into the fight. He's got the garrison there, but a lot of Royal Knights here ready to contest. Archers
Not enough
stand their ground.
2 spearmen, 2 horsemen. That's what MarineLorD has. Nothing else. He's being boxed in here.
It's got basically nothing left. Another product going down. Diving even deeper. A lot of idle economy from MarineLorD. He gets caught being greedy. Yeah, he got his second relic, but he can't actually move out of his base at all, and he can't even do anything on any exposed eco lines here. His gold, stone, and food are starting to shut down.
He has the gold from the Ragni's Cathedral, but he doesn't have the food to do anything with it. He can't go for knights because he is just running out of food. 300 food per minute only because he's being cut off from the shorefish and he's already out of food inside his base. That is what B is playing on here. He knows very well that MarineLorD needs to expand towards the shorefish, and right now he can limit MarineLorD's access to food big time.
And I gotta praise this transition out of B. Notice what was happening on that fishing line. Why are these houses like this? MarineLorD was blueprinting in the emergency repair. So B, instead of fixating on that outpost to snipe 5 villages, went deeper. He chased deeper and shut down the economy instead of just wasting time on something that would have always been repaired.
And it also has a spring golden placement, so you really don't want to stick around long around that tower. So he realized that he can't take it down. It also is carrying a ton of firepower, so he just went in for the kill on the eco. Speaking of which, he's going full feudal here, and that's a lot of knights. No response from MarineLorD to those.
And he can afford a lot more knights. Look at the income.
1,500. And when you mentioned the Pass of Swabia, I was laughing at myself because I was thinking, could we see an instance where B is going full feudal and he's gonna have a timing push against an HRE player as the HRE tries to go into Imp? And the only reason why that's not the case is because he's hitting an even better timing push, cutting off the fruit from MarineLorD, preventing him from even thinking about Imperial Agent. As long as Imp is not there, that villager count isn't looking spectacular for MarineLorD.
Here's the problem right now for MarineLorD. B is going to escalate towards 25 to 30 knights. He's going to get Castle Age off the back of it. MarineLorD standing army needs to be probably about 25 spearmen, and he needs to be switching the Lang deck as well. If you can't achieve these goals when B arrives in Castle, it's going to be a flood. a flood of Royal Knights spilling HRE Royal Blood because everyone in that base is going to die.
I want to see an Institute now from B. He's got so many Knights over here ready to finish this game in the next few minutes. He should go into castle with the Institute, get Royal Bloodlines, and then force a decisive engagement. And there it goes.
You get your wish come true. It looks like he's your fairy godmother tonight, Lidakor. We are going to get a hyper-aggressive timing for B. Nightline will continue to produce up, and after that, Royal Bloodlines is going to make them nigh on unassailable.
And the problem is that MarineLorD, he's going Horseman, which is great and everything, but they will just die so badly to Knights, and it's not like B has to be concerned about Horseman raiding him. He's got defensive towers, he's got town centers, or he might even intercept the Horseman.
Oh, baby. Knights looking for a fight here. MarineLorD will try to back away. They're trying to target out some outposts they can, but they realize a lot of sprints in this area. The problem with what MarineLorD's done here is, like, it seems great, like he's securing his food, but I'm more worried about his primary base in the next 5 minutes.
Indeed. That's the problem for MarineLorD. You can send in as many horsemen as you want, but B can afford to even lose 20 villagers here. Because he knows that the moment he reaches Castle Age and gets Royal Bloodlines, he can do even more damage to your eco, because those Knights, they can just camp under the town center and that's it.
Confidence he's playing with right now. Knights starting to dive in. Elite upgrade coming through soon for them. That's going to upgrade their torch damage further. Royal Bloodlines also primed. Textiles alongside it, because this is the thing. B, he's only peeling a few Knights to deal with this slowly, because if you start targeting villages now with horsemen, with Textiles coming through, you're going to get limited return for your value.
And the timing could be perfect. Royal Bloodlines on the way, but look at what MarineLorD is doing. He wants to go into Imp right now.
Oh,
this could be the perfect timing for B to hit.
And he's going to hit hard here. It's like he's going to strike onto that gold line, but like we said, Textile's now there. B will just shrug it off. Barely any eco damage coming through. He's still escalating the villager count. Behind this, escalating the Knight count. Look how many he just queued up. Royal Bloodlines to be done soon. It's a long research, 1 minute and 30 seconds, but once it's there, that's B's go time. And the go time might line up perfectly with MarineLorD's Imperial Age.
And you can recuperate your villager losses fast with the Pass of Schwabia, but if you have nothing to defend those newly created villagers with, they will just die in a blink of an eye. And that's what we're going to witness over here. As MarineLorD hits Imperial, B is going to dive deep into his base. He knows he needs to finish his opponent off, and he's going to dive deep into the base of MarineLorD in a matter of seconds.
You know the funny part is about these stat defenses? B now being this chunk, he can just run past them. If he goes to the back of the base and exposes the wood line, MarineLorD shuts down in a lot of ways.
Royal Bloodline's almost finished. Cantwell settles in queue behind it. And Imperial Age is now in. B is just waiting for those upgrades to come in, and he's gonna go. And when he goes, he's gonna go.
MarineLorD will have to go to hell because he won't be able to stay on this map much longer at this rate. He needs a standing army and he needs it stat. He's relying on the cannon emplacements. It's a saving grace for him. B, no siege. It's just a flood through of Knights. He may have waited a little bit too long for this.
Yeah.
Because if these cannon emplacements last a little bit too long, his army is going to zero.
He needs to go. He needs to do something. He's playing this too passive, but what for?
Trebs maybe, but you're against the HRE, so still.
He's playing this one overly safe. He's missing out on a timing window. If he dives into 32 Knights, just runs past the towers, it's over for MarineLorD. He would lose like 30 villagers in a matter of seconds.
Is he going for a keep drop monastery? I'm trying to figure out if he's playing around sacred sites, maybe.
I don't think you keep drop any Imperial Age player though. Like, he feels like he's just distracted by the horsemen, but why does he care? I don't understand. Why does he care about 3 horsemen when he's got 30 plus knights that he could just run into the enemy base with? Hit the food eco, hit the lumberjacks at the back. He feels too intimidated by those bombard emplacements, but he could still just run past them.
It's starting to look like we're turning this into a weird kind of horse battle, right? I'm the only one that's allowed horses. Like, every single one must be purged, but MarineLorD doesn't care because he's willing to have his horsemen purged if it gives him time to get 1,000,001 static defenses, which it is. It's giving him all the time he needs, and I'm doubtful about the way B's playing this, but I think his intent is to go up to, say, 60 knights and then just try to landmark snipe. The problem is those cannons. Those cannons will wipe them out.
I just don't understand why you have to go for a desperate measure like a landmark snipe when you could easily overwhelm the eco. completely ignore the buildings, and go for a kill on the eco. It's not like MarineLorD has a massive eco here to kill.
He's moving in. He's finally doing
Finally.
it. Has he? Wait, he might have exposed the weak point because those cannon placements on the right side of the base.
Yeah.
I don't see any cannon upgrades.
That's
oh,
it.
No.
These are Springbolt towers, but those are not enough here. And this is what I was referring to. You have 3 cannon towers on the front, nothing else behind it. You run past it, you run to the back of MarineLorD's base, minus 50 villagers for MarineLorD in a blink of an eye.
Look at this. He's going to deny him because here's the other issue. MarineLorD hasn't transitioned farms yet. So losing out on the fish kills his economy. And it's quite obvious that he wants fish when you walk in this area and there's more mills here than you'd find on a windmill farm.
More mills there than what you would find in the Netherlands.
I mean, I set a high standard. I want to be reasonable about this, but you're right. It is ridiculous. And the E-repairs, it just doesn't do anything. Also, you just used E-repairs on an outpost that instantly died. Say goodbye to several more buildings.
Including houses. And housing could be an issue here for MarineLorD. Still just 3 horsemen, 9 spearmen. B is taking a slow and methodical approach over here when he could just go crazy. He might be taking an overly cautious move here. Look at the back of MarineLorD's base for just a brief moment. Just imagine the amount of damage that B could do over there on that eco.
I know, that's what I was waiting for a long time.
He's got a scout right next to it!
He knows! He's peeling off knights. He's peeling off knights right now. He's coming in. He says, hello, precious. Spearman there to buffer him away, but I'm worried about the front line, sir. What about your military production buildings? What about your housing?
Yeah, I mean, it would still take a miracle for MarineLorD to secure this back under his control. He's slowly recovering the villager count, but problem is that we're looking at 69 army against 15. Massive numbers advantage for B.
Appropriate number, because it feels like MarineLorD is getting shafted in this one. He
And
hasn't
it's
got
not
anywhere
even
left
like
to run.
It's not even like 69 archers. It's 52 Royal Knights with Imperial Age upgrades, because that is something that B has thanks to the Royal Institute.
And look how chunky they are. They take on the spears. Archer's there to assist him. They're going to go down fast, and he needs time. That's why B goes. He sees the outpost just got built. There's no cannon emplacements. MarineLorD, it's a great migration away from here. He can deny everything. The static emplacements as well as the Pass of Swabia. At which stage, what are you? Because you are not HRE.
Finally, B is committing into this one with 51 knights, and as you said, he realizes that there are no defensive towers here at the back, leaving the Pass of Swabia exposed even, and emergency repairs going on to the tower means that you are losing the Swabia here.
And he done that because he saw it's a Springbolt. It's not a cannon, so he doesn't fear it. He's not scared. Palace of Swab is going to go down. MarineLorD hasn't even caught up in the villager department. He's not even close. More outposts going up. Has got enough stone to try and stabilize off the cannon emplacements. But every time E-repairs goes on cooldown, he falls further into despair.
And from the northern side, more knights are trickling in, still cutting off MarineLorD from the fish. MarineLorD, most of his eco is not idle. He is getting torn to shreds over here by 50 Royal Knights, and B, now reaching PopCap, can even start thinking about Imperial Age.
My, oh my. HRE's too strong, too many sheep. Just play fish, says B. Look at the power of it. Look at how many horses he's bred. And now, well, he's just going to turn this into a French sandwich, to speak of bread, because not only has he got the knights on the backside, he can think about getting a second wave to come in from the north.
Exactly. He's also adding trebuchets over here. You mentioned before, keep drop is a possibility as well. And now we could see, indeed, just a sandwich of the HRE. Knights are camping at the back because all they want to accomplish is make sure MarineLorD never goes back here, and he won't.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever want to come back to Frisian again against B. 2 on the board. Could we see an absolute sweep? Could MarineLorD just be booted out of this one quick? With the way B is playing, it seems all too possible.
B has had a crazy run today. His quarterfinals was amazing. The semifinals he has played was amazing. And now he's up 2-0 against MarineLorD. And as you said, it's the shorefish. He diagnosed MarineLorD's game plan perfectly here and brought in a strategy that was able to exploit the weaknesses, the holes in MarineLorD's game plan. And now he takes the second game in a row, moves on to match point in this best of 5.
This is why I love what I call meta changes. They show you something you don't see. If you think about the way this is playing out, like we come to Frisian, everyone just has this expectation how the HRE play and how they get to play. And usually it happens because people waste a lot of time diving their opponent's base early on instead of sorting their own economy first. B shifted the meta. He said, look at these fish. Sushi is very nice. It's very luxurious. Wouldn't you like to have it? Because you need a lot of food for nights. Do that, which you can do for free because the HRE don't aggress you, and all of a sudden the game becomes a lot easier. It just looks so almost cheesy when you see he has this many knights, but it's because of the way he plays the map. It's the way that he exploits it. And MarineLorD, although he tries to adjust to it, he isn't expecting it straight away. The delay in the reaction causes this compounded effect that gives B a 2-up now and puts him on match point, and MarineLorD will have to claw back. And as I said, it is going to be the Delhi up against the Abbasids.